Hello, beautiful people. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Honest Am here, the creator-in-chief and writer of the Honestly Sis newsletter, a bi-weekly newsletter geared towards millennials who are truly trying to get their shit together. And I am here for another daily motivational video where we use the tarot to become the alchemists of our lives and teach us how to become spiritual beings. A little bit about me. I do not just use the tarot. I use God and cusses in the same sentence, and I may mispronounce some things, but if it does not stop shouting, man of God, it ain't gonna stop me. All right, y'all. Angel number 27. Boom, boom. Change, actually closures, endings, new beginnings. Okay, so before I even get into this message, I just want to give you guys a heads up because I do know there's a couple of you guys who watch this regularly and daily. Just want to let you know I'm going on vacation this week, or starting this week, and so you may not have a daily motivation for every single day of this week, but I am going to make sure that the information I leave with you guys is something that you can sit and you can think about. I'm really going to get, of course, I'm going to do our new moon reading, and then I'm going to do the blockages thing that I've been promising you guys. I'm going to do the blockages around the 8/8 Lionsgate portal. And if you don't know, this is like a very exciting time, you know, you get a fresh new start. And I'm not even going to keep going and say, I'll wait till we get to that new moon reading, but I do just want to give you a heads up that you're not going to have your videos as promised. So I apologize in advance, but I need to break y'all. This girl, I need to chill. I need to relax. If I work hard, I gotta play harder, okay? All right, so anyways, God, guardian angels, ancestors, beings of light, we come here today as humbly as we know how to just say thank you. God, what information do you have for us to become the alchemists of our lives, to teach us how to become spiritual beings, or just any information that you deem worthy for us to hear? God, allow this message to be one that can stay with us for a week or for a week. All right, God. Allow no room for doubt or confusion. One or two. One more if you have it. One more only. 5. All right. So, yeah. I'm gonna do one daily. It's just that, like, I don't know if I'm gonna have time to actually edit all the videos to schedule them for you guys to have them. So that's why I'm just being like, you know, maybe it may come, maybe it may not. You know, if it is there, whoop, whoop, whoop. If not, I told you I was going on vacation, okay? All right, moving forward. Angel number 231, in the words, I cannot remember her name, but I love her. I think she's from Chicago. She's a really funny reader. Birth and Joy came out. Birth and Joy. When I see this message of birth and joy, I really feel like you are birthing something new in your life. You're birthing something new that is going to bring you a lot of joy. And the thing that I was saying about the 8/8 portal, the beautiful thing about what's happening this Sunday with the new moon is that it's going, the house of Leo, it governs creativity. And then when I was looking up what's the archetype of Leo, the archetype is the performer or the creator. And so I feel like if you've been working on a creation, or if you've been working on trying to better your creativity, that all of that hard work, remember I tell you, it's all about putting that time, effort, and attention towards something. I feel like all of that time, effort, and intention that you put towards a certain adventure is going to birth something new in your life that's going to bring you a lot of joy and a lot of happiness. There's like 3 angels here, so it may also bring you more friends, a different type of community, and maybe even love. So very exciting. And if you have been paying attention to the videos for the last couple of weeks, I think last week I did a video and I kept saying like something is coming. And so this is doubling down on this message that something is coming, something's being birthed. So I'm going to get some more information. God, clarify this message of birth and joy. What are you trying to get us to understand with this message of birth and joy? How can we prepare ourselves to birth a new version of ourselves? How can we prepare ourselves to walk into our season of joy and happiness? God, allow no room for doubt or confusion. Yeah, it's like an angel holding a baby. Are y'all getting pregnant out here now? Ghost is what came up under birth. And then under joy is faith. Okay, so I'm going to practice on those two. And then space is underlying all of this. And so, I don't know, just right away with this ghost, faith, and space, I feel like I told y'all I've been saying this for a while, but I feel like we're birthing, look at this love, we're birthing this new age of where we're learning to have more joy, we're learning to have more faith. With this ghost coming in, I really feel like this is like we're birthing this new age in which we learn how to work with the spiritual side or your ancestors, aka ghosts. I say it all the time, like if you think that humans are the only thing that is on this planet or the only thing in this universe, that is very white supremacy thinking. Like it's not just us in this motherfucker. So I really feel like I've been saying it for a while. The veil, this thing of space is pretty much null and void. And in order to navigate this new period, to navigate this new age, God is saying just allow love to lead. He's been saying that so much lately. Like we've been getting that. I want to say that was like our whole key message. If I wanted to put a theme on July, it was all about loving yourself and the stories that you tell yourself. Okay, let's get some information from the book about this. Angel number 555. So let's go to this ghost card first. So ghost, when this card comes up in a reason, and when this card come up in a reading, it may be because a ghost from your past has been paying you a visit. Your ghost may be something unresolved or repressed, or a person or situation from your past. Pay attention to what is coming up emotionally during this time. Why do you think this ghost is coming to you? What is it here to teach you? And with this coming under birth, what I'm thinking about that message of it was one of these new moon readings about examining your triggers, and also the yesterday message about learning how to move through difficulties. This is what I feel like as we're moving into this new age, there's going to be things that are going to trigger you, stuff from your past. I told y'all it all goes back to your childhood. So that may be coming up, and God is saying it's not coming up for you to regress. It's not coming up for you to suppress it. It's not coming up for you to act like it's not happening, but it's really coming up for you to look at it, to see how it has informed who you are today, how you can use it to become who you want to be, and really to help you birth yourself into a new being. Because again, it's all came under birth. So if this week, if this week, and for this the week, I keep hearing week, it's not letting me go any further. So this week, if you find yourself having triggers, or you find people or situations from your past coming up, instead of ignoring it, instead of acting like you don't have those feelings, really ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? I feel like God has been working with me a lot around triggers. I told you guys I have been in communication with my ex again. And he triggers so much shit in me, and I know why, and it's because, like what it's saying, it's coming up to resolve certain things in me. And what I have been realizing is that the triggers that come up is not for you to launch an attack on that person or for anybody else. Like, it really makes me think of that word, we argue not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, or whatever the fuck the quote is. But it's saying that when these triggers are coming up, it's not for you to get into this defensive mode and for you to, blame somebody or point the finger, but rather to look at what that energy is trying to tell you about yourself, what that energy is trying to tell you believe to be true about yourself. And I think for me with my ex, it has been a whole bunch of me feeling like I have to compete, or me having to feel like, I feel like I have become better, and it's like me realizing that just because I feel like I've grown and I've become better, if people don't treat me that way, or people don't reflect my new reality, that doesn't mean that's not my reality. That just means that they're on their own journey. They're doing their own thing. It also made me realize that I have to tell myself, I'm not in competition with no fucking body. I don't have to compete for anything. What's for me is for me. Like for often I used to be like, oh, well, I don't have this and he has that. And it's like, it doesn't really matter what he has or what he's doing or where he's going. I have to stay focused on myself. And that has been a big thing for me. Like, in order for me to become who I am, I can't be telling myself stories that make me seem like I'm in competition with somebody, or me talking down on somebody to make myself feel better. Like, no, it's like jealousy is just something for you to examine. Envy is something for you to examine. Like, what do you feel like you cannot have, or what do you feel like you need to do? And for me, it was like, You don't have to compete. You are whole, you are beautiful all on your own. And if somebody doesn't see that, and if somebody doesn't appreciate that or treat you that way, then that just means that that person is not for you. It doesn't mean that you have to perform and try to get that person to understand you. You see what I'm saying? It's like, take it away from that person, because that's the problem. Like, these triggers come up and then we're like, fuck that person, I don't want to deal with him no more because he's triggered me. You know, we love Janae Aiko, but she fucked us all up, because it's like, now all of a sudden we just walk around like, you trigger me, block, block, block. And it's like, no, instead of being like, you're triggering me, ask yourself, why does this trigger me so much? What is this trying to teach me? You hear what I'm saying? Angel number 1013. But let's move on to this message of joy about faith. This card isn't really about belief in a higher power, although if that is a part of your practice, you are welcome to infuse it here. It is more about trusting that no matter what, things will be okay. This is an idea that is much larger than yourself or anyone else. Things are moving and shifting all the time, so just keep working towards your goal, whatever that may be. Know that the outcome will lead you exactly where you need to be. And oh my God, that was so beautiful. And I think that's what God's trying to let you understand. These triggers coming up, some people come up. Instead of you launching an attack against that person, look at that emotion, look at that trigger, look at what it is trying to teach you so that you can birth yourself into a new being. And then what God is also saying, doubling down on that, is that whatever is coming up, whatever is going to happen within this week, God is saying, just know that it's happening for your greater good. For some reason, I'm thinking about, I've been listening to For All Nerds, and you know, I was watching Loki, and like, oh my God, this is like the best show ever. Like, I just love Loki, and I love how they break it down, because they get it. Like, they think like me, and they're having these conversations, and I feel like what we have to understand is that if you have faith, then you have to believe that no matter what happens to you, good, bad, or indifference, that is ultimately happening for your higher good. You have to believe that this wouldn't come about to destroy you. And I think that so often we, you know, because we're in the world and because we've been taught these things, that when things goes wrong in our life, instead of allowing that to be an opportunity to birth a new reality for ourselves, or to, you know, tap into this unknown part of ourselves, we get mad, we shut down, and we stay stuck there. Because we're like, oh my God, I'm so fucked up, the world is against me. Instead of realizing that, no, this is just something that needs to happen. This is just a period of time. This is just a cycle that you need to go through. I told you guys, I was so uncomfortable in my job, and just being like so frustrated that I haven't had that change. And I'm just like, why? I've been working so hard. Why am I not seeing this growth? And it's just like, it was like, maybe for it was like the whole month of July, like I was just like looking at everything that I have done within these 7 years, you know, looking at Honestly Sis, looking at my novel, looking at my house, looking at how I carry myself. And I'm just like, damn, like it's been so much change. It's been so much growth. Like eventually it has to happen. Eventually, you know, the overflow and the external the external world has to reflect that. And so just because it's not happening, or just because I didn't get a scholarship, or just, you know, it's like, who gives a fuck? Like, I feel like what God is telling us is that, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Angel number 12, angel number 1313. I feel like what God is telling us is that, we have to learn how to be comfortable in the unknown. Like, we're moving in this area where we're birthing a new age, you're birthing a new version of yourself, and everything is not going to make sense. Everything is not going to be in this perfect little bow. But just because it's not in a perfect little bow, it doesn't mean that it's not for you. It doesn't mean that it's not ultimately leading you to joy. It's not meaning that it's not taking you exactly where you need to go. So just have faith. Just trust. And I know that that's easier said than done. You know, like it's easier said than done. But if I really seriously think about, you know, this time last year, I was out on medical leave. I was out on medical leave, or whatever, disability, or whatever the fuck it's called. I was out last summer. I wasn't working, and I was getting paid by another, you know, like not my job, but this entity, this insurance policy, pretty much. And like this month of August, like they cut it off. Meanwhile, my doctor note said that I didn't have to go back to work until the first week in September. And so the whole month of August, I had no money coming in. I'm literally fighting with these people to get money, literally fighting for people to understand me. I'm like breaking down every other day because I'm just like, I just don't understand like why things can't be so difficult for me. I mean, why things have to be so difficult for me? Like, why can't it just be easy? Not realizing that though I'm not getting money in every day, no, I'm not getting money in every week, somehow everything is still okay. Like literally the week that I got my my letter, like that pink slip notice from, the apartment complex, I had got my check on Thursday. So it was like, if I really sit back and think about it, as uncomfortable as that process was, what came from it, what was birthed from it, was I was able to have a surplus of money when I needed the money. And that was the other thing. It was so crazy because it was like I took care of every single thing. Everybody that, I paid my mom back, paid my brother back, took care of my bills, got my rent up to date. And then it was like once everything was paid off, then all of a sudden a surplus of money came in. And then I was just like on a high and I was just like laughing like, damn, I really wish that I wasn't like going through all of these changes through August. But it's like, you have to learn that, like I had to learn, like, no matter how anything looks to the external world, if I believe what I believe to be true about my God and about where I'm going, then I know that it's ultimately going to lead me to joy and faith. But I'm not going to beat it over the head. I feel like let's just get some quick tarot, because I want to see like what is your energy, God. What is our energy towards the ghost of our past? What is our energy towards addressing triggers? What is our energy towards joy and faith, or what's blocking us? How can we overcome this? Just clarify this message. Maybe just give us just one card to just clarify what are you trying to get us to understand about looking at our triggers, moving through them so that we can birth a new version of ourselves that's going to lead us to joy. So, okay, so what God is saying is when the triggers come up, instead of you realizing that it's leading you to the 10 of Pentacles, that is leading you to total fulfillment, it's leading you to have the family, the love, the wisdom, the dogs, love for your community, just the wealth that you're ultimately looking for. When things happen, or when, like triggers come up, it to me, it just keeps staying with triggers, even though this is talking about people coming back in your life. For me, it's like, something happens, somebody says something to you, or somebody does something to you, or you lose something, and then you automatically be like, oh my God, like I'm a fucked up person. It's like you got a bad mindset. So like, I think your mindset, angel number 1729, needs some work. And so it's like when these things come up, instead of you realizing that it's helping you become who you want to be in the end, it makes you feel like shit, pretty much. And God is saying the way to overcome that is not even to overcome it, you will have to feel your power. God is asking you to feel more empowered, to learn how to deal with that supernatural side, not being afraid to go in your light and your dark side. And that's how you'll be able to overcome these triggers. And then underneath it, for your joy and for your faith, what God is saying is that, look, she has a thing that say over it. It's like, because you don't see the blessing that is here, because you don't see that, you don't see what God is doing in the background. You don't see that all of this is birthing you to become the Queen of Wands. You're just stuck in the past. You refuse to move. You refuse to take the fresh new idea. But God is saying that if you have faith, if you change your attitude, oh shit. Look, if you have, it's like, look at these energies. It's not even like you can how do you overcome it? It's like making a decision on what you're going to decide. Okay, anyways. So for this joy and what we have, it's like, okay, 4 of Cups, right? Means that God is trying to give you a new way to do things because of the trigger that is coming up. But because you're in your feelings, because you don't have faith, you are just like, I'm not doing anything. You just staying stuck in your thing. You're starting to, instead of free up your resources, you're starting to hold on to it more because, again, your lack of your faith, your lack of your belief. But God is saying you need to make a choice on what you believe to be true. See, look at this. Keep going back and forth. You don't believe. That's honestly what it comes down to. You don't believe. But God is saying, if you just would, instead of when these triggers come up, instead of allowing it to take away your power, instead of allowing it to digress you, or for you to stay stuck in your past and not want to give up your resources, God is saying, trust that it's all going to come back around. That trigger is going to bless you. It's going to give you that gift that you ultimately deserve. Do you hear what I'm saying? I'm gonna get us a what's the face? A law of attraction card to understand this a little bit better. God, clarify this message of birth, joy, the ghost with the faith, the 10 of Pentacles reversed with the Queen of Wands, the 4 of Cups with the 4 of Pentacles, and 6 of Cups. It's a lot about what is this passion. It's like you're working towards something, a trigger come up, you feel like that doesn't mean that it's for you, instead of you realizing that this trigger is helping you become the Queen of Wands. Instead of you allowing it to take a new cup, a new way of doing things, have a new way of doing things that make you feel joy and love and having faith, you tighten up your resources. And God is saying he doesn't want you to tighten up your resources because he wants you to know that that trigger is coming back up to bless you, to get you to also become the King of Swords of your life. All right. That makes sense. All right, one tool. What is one tool we can use to wrap this on up in a beautiful bow? I'm going to get y'all on out of here. All right, one tool. One. Thank you. I can see my eyes through the eyes of Source. By choosing better feeling thoughts, by speaking more of what you do want and less of what you do not want, you genuinely tune yourself to the frequency. Look, by choosing to speak more of what you do want and not more of what you do not want, you tune your vibrational frequency to your broader perspective. To see your eyes through the eyes of Source is truly the most spectacular view of life. For from the vibrational vantage point, you are in alignment with and therefore in the process of attracting only what you would consider to be the very best. So again, seeing the world through the eyes of Source, that's saying that when things come up, just know that it's coming up to birth something new in you. It's coming up for you to examine, have a different mindset. It's coming up for you to become a better person. It's not coming up to say that you don't deserve it. It's not coming up for you to start holding on to your resources. It's just coming up for you to say, let's do something different so that we can get what we truly want and we truly desire. Last thing, it says the physical me is materialized me. Some say that you should not want money at all because the desire for money is materialistic and not spiritual. But we want you to remember that you are here in this very physical world where spirit has materialized. You cannot separate yourself from the aspect of yourself that is spiritual. And while you are here in these bodies, you cannot separate yourself from that which is physical material. All of the magnificent things of your physical nature that are surrounding you are spiritual in nature. Angel number 2240. As I was reading that, because this is, again, it's pentacles here and it's pentacles here. I feel like what God is saying is that, like, as you are on your quest to better yourself, maybe you have a desire like me that you want to earn a living doing what you love. God is saying that when these things from your past come up, instead of you feeling like it's coming up to like make you feel like you're not worth it, or it's coming up for you to tighten up your resources, God is saying no, it's really coming up for you to examine your kingdom, to examine how you're running yourself. Angel number 2323, like, it's coming up to birth a new way. To birth a new way. Like, I don't want to keep beating it over, but it's like, I really feel like, I don't want to keep going on and on, but it really feels like what God is saying is that if you want to be a billionaire, or if you want to be financially successful, there's nothing wrong with you being financially successful. It actually is the reason why you are meant to be here. So that as you're on your quest to become financially successful, to bring abundance and wealth into your family, God is saying there are things you're going to have to address. And the reason why you need to address them is to clean up that stuff from your childhood. Once you clean up that stuff from your childhood, then you'll be able to better attract things. You'll be able to get all those things that you want and that you've been desiring. But first you have to change your attitude about what this process means, how it's going to look, and having the faith. It's like God is saying, if you just allow joy to lead, to allow you to go through this process of, just to go through this process, allowing love to lead and having faith that everything will ultimately turn out okay. God, life has no choice but to be good to you and to give back to you. All right. Angels number 2430. I am going to give you guys, just because I want to just get on out of here, give you guys a quick work your light. God, clarify this message of 10 of Wands, Queen of Wands, 10 of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, 6 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups. What the fuck? Excuse me, God. Birth and joy, ghost and faith. The materialized me is materialized spirit. I can see my eyes through source. What are you trying to get us to understand about this message of addressing our triggers, moving through them, and trusting that everything is happening for our highest good? God, allow no room for doubt or confusion. One card only, please. I said one card. 2 came out. Oh, so yes. I don't even have to read this. Yes just means to is to look at those, examine those triggers. Whatever you're working towards, God is saying, yes, you're meant to have it. Yes, you're worthy of having it. Yes. Just, don't be over it. Like, this life is for you. Have faith. The spirit world is real. So whatever questions you've been asking, God is saying, just say yes. And just so y'all know that I'm not bullshitting, that I don't have to read this card, angel number 28. I'll show you. See? Yes. It all says yes. Don't overthink it. Just say yes. But the card that we're going to focus on is the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits, soul tribe, which is very exciting for me, because I really feel like what God is saying, if you allow yourself to move through those triggers, have faith that everything is working out for your highest good, then something that you're like a childhood dream, childhood dream keep coming back, is going to come true. It wouldn't let me move forward. Y'all heard me. I was trying to say something else, and it was like childhood dreams. I was like a track player. Like, it wouldn't let me just keep going. All right, it's all coming together. You are being called to let your intuition move you physically. You are connected to a group of souls who are weaving a web around the planet. And as you travel and share your creations, something is rethreaded. This card is an acknowledgement that you are either being called to contact with... This card is an acknowledgement that you are either being called to connect with others who are like you at a soul level, or that you already are. You are being called to gather groups of people, either by leading them or becoming part of a group that can support you in your soul personal mission. You are part of a group of souls who agreed to be here at this time in history to heal yourself, your ancestral line, and the planet, to raise consciousness so that we can continue to call this magnificent place home for eras to come. One of many consciously choosing to devote your life to something greater than yourself. It's time to call in your tribe by sharing your soul's voice, letting yourself be seen. It's time to raise the consciousness so that we can continue to call this magnificent place home for eras to come. One of many consciously choosing to devote your life to something greater than yourself. It's time to call in your tribe by sharing your soul voice and letting yourself be seen. When you share what is real and true to you, you share the medicine that most needs. Those who are like you will gather around you. You are your tribe. They are just like you. And just as you are longing and searching for them, they are longing and searching for you. So, guys, it just really touched my heart, because if I'm being honest, I have been like her. I have been a little bit over it, and I just have been realizing that, how I see the world, how I operate in the world, it's just not like other people, Angel number 2845. And so I do have these moments of doubt, and it's not and the good thing is I haven't been like this. I haven't been stingy with my resources. I've actually been just having more faith and really looking at my triggers and really getting to the root. And what I realized it was like I had to tell myself I'm fine. Like what was so frustrating to me is because I'm like, I feel like no matter what, I can't escape my childhood. Like I just can't it's like everything is a symptom of my childhood, and now I don't want that anymore. I just want love. I just want peace. I just want everything to just go easy and with flow, and I want to be with people who truly get me. And I feel like I'm grateful for this message because it's like God is saying, you've been doing the right thing. You haven't been attacking other people. You've really been just trying to stay true to yourself and see your eyes through source. And because of that, eventually the people that you want is going to come to you. And so if you've been lonely, or if you've been feeling like, you know, the lone wolf, you know, the black wolf in the pack, whatever the fuck the words are, like, I just ask you to please just stay true to yourself. Don't allow this time, like I keep telling y'all, we can't do anything in fear. So I just ask that you just really like look at your triggers, look at the things that are bothering you in this time so that you can get what's for you. Don't allow it to make you shut down. Don't allow it to make you keep your resources to yourself, but really truly be open to the universe so God can bring you what's meant for you. And the last card that's peeking up to me is Unbound, releasing soul contracts and past lives. And I just feel like God is saying, like, I keep telling y'all, we're in a brand new age, and all of this stuff is coming up so that we can release it once and for all. So if that is your wish, put your hand on your heart and touch and agree with me as I say this. I choose now to let myself be seen. I am ready to call in my soul tribe and create a web of light all over the planet. I choose now to let myself be seen. I am ready to call in my soul tribe and create a web of light all over the planet. I choose now to let myself be seen. I am ready to call in my soul tribe and create a web of light all over the planet. All right, y'all, that's all the messages I have for you. If any of these triggers come up for you this week, don't go off on no people, but really examine yourself so that you can get the life that is meant for you. All right, y'all, see you soon. If you made it to the end of this message and you are not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe. If you really liked it and it touched something in your soul, give me a thumbs up. And until we meet again, dream those dreams, never let the internet rush you, and never, ever, ever let someone tell you what you cannot do. See you soon, bye.